Imagine someone showing up in your life at your lowest point, making you feel better, and inspiring you to be a better version of yourself. This is exactly what Miles meant to Gwen. In this video, we'll delve into why Miles was the best thing that ever happened to her.
I liked your joke.
Really?
I mean, it wasn't funny. That's why I laughed. But it was smart, so I liked it.
I don't think I've seen you before.
In the Spider-Verse movies, Gwen was always a bit of a loner. She didn't have many friends. In fact, she only had one close friend, Peter. After his tragic death, she isolated herself completely. She started thinking that making friends as a spider-person would only lead to heartbreak. She unconsciously put it in her mind that any friendship or bond she formed would end in tragedy, and she often wondered if it was all her fault. This made her pull away from everyone, including her father. She didn't even open up to him about her secret identity or any personal issues. She was all alone, without a mom, with a dad who happened to be a cop constantly chasing Spider-Woman, which was her alter ego. This was a tough situation because she didn't have anyone to talk to or rely on. On top of that, she carried the guilt of her best friend's death, which weighed heavily on her. But then, there was one person who completely turned her life around, someone who was the opposite of her personality, and that's Miles. We know Miles as a guy who effortlessly makes friends. Just think back to the first movie where almost everyone in his neighborhood knows him and greets him warmly. He's definitely not like Gwen, who is more reserved and keeps to herself. However, when Gwen met Miles, everything changed for her. This was the beginning of their beautiful love story, filled with ups and downs. Their meeting was totally unexpected for both of them, but it ended up being incredibly meaningful, especially for Gwen.
Just a really emotionally intelligent guy. Beyond my years.
You know, it really is always so great to talk to you.
You can tell just by the sparkle in her face whenever she's with him. It says a lot about how he affects her. When they're together, that reserved person she used to be just melts away.
Einstein said time is relative, right? Maybe I'm not late. Maybe you guys are early. He's actually really embarrassed about it, so just keep it between us, okay?
Miles brought out a side of her that she hadn't shown before. He was outgoing and friendly, always ready to make friends and connect with people, whereas Gwen was more introverted and guarded. But despite their differences, they clicked in a way that changed both of their lives. That picture she took with Miles means everything to her. I'm pretty sure her father saw that photo too. As we know, when Gwen left her universe because everything got complicated with her father finding out her secret identity and not accepting her, she left everything behind, including that photo. But when she returned to her universe after being kicked out of the Spider Society, the picture she had left inside her drum wasn't there anymore, it had been moved. This implies that her father probably took it while he was searching through her room. It's really nice to imagine that he realized Gwen was always so down and sad, and it was rare for him to see her smile. But in that photo, when he saw her with a guy, Miles, she was actually smiling. I'm sure that was strange for him at first, but at the same time, it must have been heartwarming because he saw his daughter happy. That's something he probably hadn't seen in a long time. This situation makes Miles' future interaction with Gwen's father, which will likely happen in Beyond the Spider-Verse, very interesting. Gwen already met his parents, but they didn't know who she was or saw a picture of her beforehand. And I'm pretty sure they didn't search through Miles' sketchbook, where there are lots of drawings of Gwen. However, it's different with Gwen's father because he knows about Miles. He's seen a picture of Gwen with him, so he has some idea of who Miles is, even if they haven't met in person. This could lead to some awkward but also touching moments. Miles' presence in Gwen's life didn't just change her personal perspective but also her understanding of what it truly means to be a spider-person. In Across the Spider-Verse, Gwen was initially focused on the canon events and the rules of the Spider Society, which often led to innocent people dying because she believed it's just how things are supposed to go. But Miles changed her perspective on this. He made her realize that a true spider-person should never let innocent people die just because it's predetermined to happen. Miles opened her eyes to a different way of thinking, where the value of human life is paramount. This newfound understanding made Gwen the first one to question Miguel in the Spider Society. She challenged this idea, which ultimately led to her being kicked out of the group.
Do you know for certain what happens if he breaks the cannon?
Do you want to find out?
We are supposed to be the good guys.
It seems like anyone who questions Miguel's belief about the canon is automatically exiled from the Spider Society. We saw this happen with Gwen when she decided to speak up and challenge these principles. Her expulsion was a direct result of her questioning the status quo, which was inspired by Miles' influence. He showed her that being a hero isn't just about following rules or accepting what's destined to happen, it's about protecting people and fighting for what's right, no matter what the circumstances. This makes their relationship even more significant because it not only transformed her personal life but also changed her approach to her responsibilities as a spider person.
One thing I learned from Miles: it's all possible.
If I had to summarize how Miles changed Gwen's life, it's clear that he brought out a different side of her. When she's with him, she becomes more open and more like herself. He was the first person she formed a strong bond with after the tragic loss of her best friend. Even though their time together was short, they grew incredibly close. Over time, their friendship blossomed into something deeper, and they eventually fell deeply in love. What's beautiful is that this love is mutual from the start, and despite the challenges of time and distance, their feelings for each other only grew stronger.
Look at you. You grew, huh? Had a little growth spurt?
Yeah. Your hair has gotten pinker.
Meeting in unexpected circumstances and understanding each other on a deep personal level led them to fall in love. But we can't forget that Gwen has some work to do to regain Miles' trust after everything that happened in Across the Spider-Verse. Her journey towards redemption is going to be epic and emotional. Right now, nothing is holding her back, so you can bet that her reconciliation with Miles is going to be really powerful. Their reconciliation and first conversation will be super emotional, and I think Gwen will be the one to make the first move. It makes sense because she was the one who had been holding back her feelings. Now that she's ready to let everything out, it's gonna be a deeply emotional and meaningful moment for both of them.
In every other universe, Gwen Stacy falls for Spider-Man. And in every other universe, it doesn't end well.
Well, it's the first time for everything, right?